Hey everyone, this is How To Hollywood, and I'm your host, Kristen Gill, and today I have celebrity makeup artist Lyndsay Zavitz here with me.
Hello.
Tell me what you're gonna do today.
I'm gonna recreate the look I usually do on Chrissy Teigen. Just that natural, bronzy, glowy look with a nude lip, a good set of lashes, and of course that highlight.
You know we're doing that highlight. Let's get started.
We're gonna start with prepping the skin. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of a moisturizer. And I always like to apply it with a brush, but at home, you can just use your fingers.
Yeah. Does Chrissy have dry skin or oily skin?
Her skin, it's pretty combination. It's pretty good. It's pretty perfect.
Yeah,
it holds makeup really well.
It looks perfect.
So when I do makeup, I always start with the eyes first. So I'm gonna put this on. This just kind of helps depuff, and if you're a little tired, just...
That's cooling.
And this kind of, the eyeshadow falls on this, but I take a makeup wipe anyways to clean up any mess. So I'm gonna start with brows. I use the Anastasia brow palette. The main color I use though is taupe, even though like your brows are pretty dark, but I like to fill them in with a lighter color so they don't look too dark. And brows are super important. They really frame the face. I always do this. I always use a bronzer as the first color that I put on the eyeshadow. It acts as a great transition color. So I'm using the Tom Ford bronzer. I'm just using a little fluffy brush. This is a Morphe brush. And then now what I'm gonna use, this is my new favorite product. This is the Tom Ford. It's like a little duo. On the top is a little bit of a shimmer. And then on the bottom is a little cream color. I'm just gonna use a little MAC brush. And I just take a little bit out and put it on my hand. And I just start right at the lash and kind of blend it upwards.
So when did you start working with Chrissy?
Probably about 5 months ago or so.
Wow, it's new.
Yeah, pretty recent.
What's your favorite part of working with Chrissy?
She's just really sweet and down to earth, so really easygoing, so that always helps. And she's so pretty, so you know, any look you do,
Great canvas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's gonna look amazing. And you don't have to be too careful when you're applying the cream, because I go over top with another little blending brush and then blend that out. And I kind of go in like circular motion to blend it so you don't get any creasing. So I'm going to use a smaller rounded brush. This is the one that I applied the bronzer with, so I always kind of go back and forth. I'm just gonna mix a couple of the colors together. And I start on the outer corner and then just go right into the crease. And then I take that fluffy brush that I applied the bronzer with and I go right over top, just to make sure it's all blended, because you don't want to see where you started and stopped with the eyeshadow. So blending is key. I always say invest in a good set of makeup brushes, because you really can't get a good eyeshadow look without, you know, good brushes.
Yeah, the right tools.
I'm just gonna use my eyeliner, favorite eyeliner. It's by MAC and it's called Teddy. And I always smudge it out with eyeshadow. But this look that I did on Chrissy, I did both. I did the Teddy eyeliner and then I did a little bit of a black eyeliner. But a lot of times my go-to is just this eyeliner. And it's great for fall too. Especially if you normally don't wear a lot of makeup, this is a good color. And then I just take a dark brown eyeshadow and a little blendy brush and go right over top.
What's been your favorite look you've created for Chrissy so far?
I would say this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's kind of like a soft, smoky look. Because I like more of like a natural glam.
Yeah.
So this is my favorite, where you look done up, but it doesn't look too crazy and like a lot of color on the eyes. Now I'm gonna use a black eyeliner and I put it right in the waterline. So it's right under the lashes. What it does is makes your lashes look fuller and darker without seeing that harsh black eyeliner. And I just put a little bit right over top of the brown eyeliner too. Then I just take a black eyeshadow and a little blending brush.
It's super dense and so short.
And you just get right into the lash root and smoke it out a little bit more. So now I'm gonna take that eyeshadow from the Tom Ford duo. I just use my finger and close. I add a little bit of the shimmer on top of the lid And it's not too much, it's really subtle, but when you look down, it's really pretty. You can see a little bit of that iridescence and twinkle, and it's gold too. So I'm gonna take these little guys off. I'm just gonna take the Teddy eyeliner. I'm gonna put it on the bottom, right in the waterline, and just a little bit along the lash root, and then blend it out with eyeshadow. So I'm gonna use a strip lash. My favorite strip lashes are the Lily lashes. These are the mink ones. And these you can actually reuse a few times. So now I'm gonna put a little bit of a primer on. This is my all-time favorite primer. It's by Dermalogica and it's called Hydro Blur Primer. I just use a little bit and I just apply it right on the T-zone. So with foundations, I mix a few. I never just use one foundation. I use the MAC Strobe Cream, my favorite foundation right now, the La Mer. I always apply foundation with foundation brush and then I just blend it out with a beauty blender. I'm gonna use a little bit of the Kevyn Aucoin and it's 09 and it's really pink as you can see. So whenever I use concealers, I like to use pink tones. And I just dab a little bit right under the eyes. And then blend. So for concealers, NARS is my favorite. I'm gonna use honey and custard. So I'm gonna use honey first, and I'll just get you to open and look up. And I just dab a little bit right underneath the eye, and I bring it down a little bit because I'm gonna use this as a highlighter as well. And then I put custard right over top. I'm gonna use the Tom Ford Cream bronzer. Have you tried that before?
I have not, but I have seen it and I want it.
You need it. I use Intensity 1. Okay. They have two different colors. I like Intensity 1. Can I just use a little, this is a Dose of Color brush. I'm just gonna apply this right under the cheekbone. And then I just blend it out. It doesn't go muddy or it doesn't look too pink.
Looks real natural. Does Chrissy like a deep contour?
She does. She loves her contour, but blended.
Yeah.
Blending is key. A little nose contour. So now I'm gonna set. I'm gonna use the La Mer translucent powder and then the Givenchy setting powder. It's the pink one. So I always like to use pinky colors under the eyes. And I'm just taking a brush and dabbing a little bit of the colors together. And both of these powders have a little bit of an iridescence to them. So I'm just taking a fluffy brush and dabbing a little all over. I'm just gonna go right over top of the cream bronzer with the Tom Ford powder bronzer. I'm just using an angled brush.
So what's your vibe when you're getting ready with Chrissy? Do you guys listen to music or is it kind of quiet? Is it serene?
It really just depends on what we're doing and where we are.
Where you're going?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. Yeah, but it's usually always really chill.
Yeah. Is Luna ever there?
Yeah, she's usually running around. I always take this little Smashbox brush and I take a bronzer and I smoke it under the eyes. This kind of just brings the eyeshadow together. And I smoke it pretty low. It actually opens up the eyes and gives you that smoky look without it being too harsh. Because if you do this with an eyeshadow, you would just look crazy and it'd be really intense. But taking that bronzer really brings it all together. It's subtle, but it makes such a big difference. And this is a Guerlain bronzer, actually. It's a little, kind of almost like a pinky orangey color, so I don't like it as a bronzer. I use it as a blush base, and I just put it over the cheeks. So when it comes to blush, I mix a few, just like my foundation. I make it difficult. So I'm taking, this is a Tom Ford one, Kevyn Aucoin, Edward Bess, and then Dose of Color.
Ooh, the new minted.
Yeah, they're really pretty. And so I just take all 4 of them and dab. And I always dab a little bit on my hand first. Just pop it right on the cheeks. Now, my favorite
Now.
part.
Our favorite part.
Highlighters.
Yes.
This is the iconic London. These are the little shimmer drops. So it's a liquid, and this is the original color. So I take a little bit, just dab a little bit on the back of my hand, and I just take my beauty blender, just apply it right where you want to apply your highlighter. This is the one too that really photographs well.
Yeah. You know, Chrissy is a highlighter.
Yeah.
She is a highlight queen.
And then I always put a little bit on the tip of the nose and the chin. And a little bit on the Cupid's bow. So that's just layer one. Then I use, oh, there's a lot more. This is Artist Couture, and it's called Double Take. And this is a powder highlight. Just take a little brush, and I just apply this right over top. And this has a little bit of like a pink to it. So it's such a pretty color. And then step number 3 is a Sephora little highlighter.
Oh my gosh.
And you just spray it on. Spray on the glow.
Oh yeah.
And then I dab it with the Beauty Blender. This is the last one.
How many have we used now? So the key to this look is just highlight, highlight, highlight.
Yeah.
And then a little contour.
People always ask what highlight I use, and it's hard. It's like, well,
Let me.
there's a few. So this one's by Laura Geller, and it's called Gilded Honey. With Chrissy, I always do more of a nude lip on her, and I'm using Oak by MAC. I usually switch between Oak and Strip Down, both by MAC. And I usually like to fill in the whole lip too. The 2 lipsticks I usually use are Nude Cape, and this one is by Marc Jacobs. It's number 146. So I usually mix the 2 together and make the perfect nude. I'm gonna use this Kevyn Aucoin lip gloss. And just to finish off the look, I'm using this loose pigment by MAC, and it's called Vanilla. I just put a little bit right in the inner corner of the eye, and then a tad bit on the nose. And there you go. That is the look.
Thank you so much for being here, Lyndsay.
Thanks for having me.
So you guys make sure to like and subscribe to Entertainment Tonight's YouTube channel and follow Lyndsay on all of her socials.
It's Lyndsay Z Makeup.
And let us know in the comments down below if you guys have any more questions. I will shoot them her way. And also let me know what you guys want to see next. And I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.